Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Lie back, stand up, get into the lotus position, and just get ready to listen to this episode as we have a conversation about the mundane. We endeavor to provide a episode and a conversation that will be less than fascinating so that you, our listener, can just feel free to drift on off. I want to thank you for listening today. I am your host, Marco Timpano.
And I am your co-host, Nidhi Khanna.
And you should follow us, rate us, and tweet us. And you can tweet us at Listen and Sleep.
Marco, recently, you and Amanda were on a vacation.
That's right. We actually, if you listened to episode, I think 111 and 112, you would have heard me speak to my father-in-law about being a Mayflower descendant. And we were visiting Nova Scotia. So we had a little bit of a vacation in the beautiful province of Nova Scotia in Canada. And if you haven't been, I strongly recommend going. Well, I want to mention that today's episode is sponsored by Casper.com. So thank you to...
Casper does deliver to Nova Scotia.
Oh, that's right. They deliver all over Canada and the U.S. and definitely in many parts of Europe. And we invite you to go to Casper.com, or better still, go to our URL, which is caspertrial.com/insomnia. And we'll tell you about how you can save $50 later on in the show. But yeah, I got a chance to do something I haven't done in a long time, Nidhi, while I was in Nova Scotia, and that's go fishing. And I loved, when I was a kid, fishing.
And by go fishing, you don't mean the card game.
No, which I enjoy too, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's a good staple card game.
I got a chance to rent a rod.
Oh, is that what it's called? You rent a rod?
Well, no, I actually rented a fishing rod.
Okay.
And I fished in the ocean. And it was funny because at the rental place, we'd gone the day before because Amanda wanted to paddleboard. And I should mention it's South Shore Rentals, or South Shore Sports Rentals, and they rent. And Clay, who rented to us, was really lovely, so I'm going to give him a shout out. And we went the day before, and Amanda asked about paddleboards. So I noticed that they were renting fishing rods, and I had no interest in paddleboarding in the ocean because I'm not that strong a swimmer. So I said, we'll be back tomorrow, and I think I want to rent a fishing rod. And I said, what can I catch over there? And he's like, oh, you can catch some mackerel. And he goes, there's a tuna.
Wait, can we go back on that story for a second?
Yeah, please.
Go back to the moment where you said you don't want to rent a paddleboard because you don't like swimming.
I'm not a strong swimmer.
Oh, right.
And I just felt if we were paddleboarding in the ocean, because we were in a cove, and
that maybe it would be too much.
I just didn't think I was strong enough. Yeah, I wasn't comfortable. So I was like, I can certainly sit on a rock offshore and watch and fish, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. We went. I rented a fishing rod. Amanda rented a paddleboard, and we went out on the water. Or she went out on the water, and I was casting. It took me a while.
What's casting exactly?
So casting is when you take your rod and you usually you push back I don't know what you'd call it. I'm sure it has a name, like this thing that holds the line in place for you, right?
Okay.
Holds it taut. And when you do that, you can release the actual line so that it will
have slack?
Have slack, right? So you pull this little thing back, and then you take your rod and you kind of whip it and let go of the line that you've been holding in place with your hand, so that the weight and the hook will just fling itself across the body of water. Now, it takes some practice, and you've never gone fishing, Nidhi?
Marco.
Clearly you haven't. But I should take you fishing. We should go fishing.
I would, except unlike you, I find the process of baiting a hook very disturbing.
Oh, you mean putting a worm on the hook?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can have a lure. You don't necessarily need to do that with a
Either way, I don't want to see a fish come out of the water.
Okay, then I guess fishing wouldn't be free. Well, you can catch and release.
Yeah, I find, no, I don't think, no.
It's not your scene.
It's not my scene.
Okay.
But I know that when you were a kid, I remember you telling the story about using bait to catch a fish in this pond that your dad was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know.
I wanted to be a fisherman when I was a kid, so it was nice to be back near the water with a fishing rod. And Clay says to me, when I said, what fish are out there? He's like, there's mackerel, and there's this, there's that. And he goes, and there's a tuna out there. But it's not tuna season, so you cannot catch the tuna. And all I wanted to do was catch the tuna. And he said, he's like, good luck reeling that in. It'll burn your hands.
This is like the start of a teen summer movie where, I see 4 boys coming together to catch the tuna, and Clay. First of all, I love the name Clay.
Yeah, that
it
was his
seems
name.
really fitting, actually, for this entire story.
And
yeah. Anyway, continue with your all-American movie in Canada, all-Canadian movie.
Sure, all fishing movie.
All fishing movie.
It took me a while to find the right spot, Nidhi. Like it wasn't. I found one spot and I kept casting in the weeds. So I would like cast it and would get caught in all these weeds and kelp and all that business. So I was not happy about that. And then I was casting, I was too far from the water when I was casting in another spot. So then finally I'm like, okay, I'm going to go around the bend. And it was a perfect spot. And then I changed my...
What made it a perfect spot?
I was closer to the water. It was a little bit beachy, so I wasn't on rocks. I had plenty of space to put my stuff down. It was out in the open, so I was getting Wi-Fi reception. It just had...
Very important fishing component is that Wi-Fi reception.
Nowadays it is, right? So it had all these pluses. And I was able to cast far and away from weeds. But at that point, I changed my lure, and I don't feel like I had a good lure. I had like this...
What are the differences in lures?
There's a million things, right? Like, it's kind of like I had this one. My first one was this like gold little one that had a funny tail to it, and then I switched it to a bigger. It depends what the fish want, right? But I was like, let me switch it to this one, and in hopes that I would catch the tuna. And I just think it was the wrong one. And I've never been fly fishing, but I'd like to go fly fishing, and you're constantly casting. But with a fly fishing rod, it's a different rod, and I think the weight of your line is different too. So the cast is beautiful. Like if you've ever seen images of fly fisher people casting, it's very relaxing, Nidhi. I know it's not your scene, but you just cast, and like the fly fishing hook is kind of like a fly, clearly. Then they make it with feathers, and there's quite an art to actually making that fly. Yeah, because you use different feathers, like pheasant. Like we'll make it look like a different type of fly or mosquito or whatnot.
So there's a lure that has a fly on it?
Yeah, fly fishing is a type of fishing where you use a specific type of rod, and I don't know if you'd call it a lure, they call it a fly, where they take a hook and they'll put a feather on it, and say 2 feathers, and then they'll wrap the wire around the...
I'd also like to take this moment to announce that I don't know why, but Zena always seems to want to drink like a fish load of water in the middle of our episode recording.
And that's Zena, if you don't know, is Nidhi's dog.
Yeah. But sorry, continue.
No.
She just distracted me.
Oh, it's okay. So basically, you take a hook, and I've never made a fly. And it's quite a difficult endeavor, I would say. It's an artistic endeavor. You've got to be patient and you've got to be skilled. I don't know. It's really an art form. So you take a hook, and once again, I'm not a professional, nor do I pretend to be one. But I'm just going to tell it like how I know it to be. You take a hook, and oftentimes they'll have it clamped, and then they'll take a feather, pheasant feather, or a specific type of feather from a specific type of bird, and you'll place the feather onto the hook, and then you'll wrap a wire around where the hook has a loop that you would tie your thing to, and you'd wrap a wire, and some people will put a little something that looks like an eye of a fly, and you'll make the actual hook look like a specific type of bug. And certain fish like certain flies and whatnot, and then you just continuously cast this out. And I think there was a Brad Pitt movie that he did where it was all about fly fishing. I never saw it, but it's one of his I can't remember now, but anyways, you need to watch it.
Oh, but you haven't watched it?
No, I don't need to watch it because I enjoy fishing. I just never got a chance to watch it. I should watch it, actually.
I don't know. What is it about fishing that gives you such joy?
Catching the fish.
So is it purely about, like, the sport of it?
No, for me, it's about catching the fish. So it's not even about, like, the fight. Some people really love the fight and like really like, because there's an artistry to that as well, right? Because you want to hook the fish, but you want to, you don't want to necessarily, some people might think, oh, I just gotta, once I feel the hook, or once I feel that there's a fish in the end, I just gotta rail at bringing the fish in. No, there's like almost like a dance that you do with the fish, where you sometimes you let some line slack. You want the fish to get tired out. It depends on what you're fishing for. There's certainly an art and science to fishing. For me, it's that moment of reeling in and seeing the fish that you've caught, because you don't know, because it's like what's on the other end of the line, and then boom, is it a trout? Is it a bass? Is it a sunfish? Is it a who knows what?
Okay, so interesting. Interesting. And do you eat the fish after?
I have. And
does it taste even better?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, if you can eat a fish, and of course, to our listeners who don't enjoy eating fish, or for our vegetarian listeners, I apologize, but if you can eat a fish fresh from being caught, it is the best tasting fish you will have. And when I like
fish. I like eating fish.
Okay. Do you like sushi?
I do.
So you know then that it's the freshest sushi that tastes the best, right? Of course. And there's some sushi restaurants that do it better than others. Right. And there's some places where you're like, that place is kind of fishy.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the Brad Pitt movie is called A River Runs Through It.
That's right. A River Runs Through It. Yeah. So that's on your watch list.
Nope. It's not.
It got great reviews.
I will watch it if you watch it.
I'll definitely watch it. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Challenge accepted.
Done.
Speaking of challenges, I know a lot
it's directed by Robert Redford.
It's a great film, Nidhi. You don't want to believe me, but I'm telling you, it's a great film that I've never seen. So we'll watch it.
We all prefer things a certain way, like groceries. If you want groceries just how you like them, you gotta try Instacart. They have a new preference picker that lets you pick how ripe or unripe you want your bananas. Shoppers can see your preferences upfront, helping guide their choices. Because when it comes to groceries, the details matter. Instacart. Get groceries just how you like.
Here's how to stay alive longer so you can enjoy Boost Mobile's unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. Do not mistake a wasp nest for a piñata. Stay alive and switch now at Boost Mobile. After 30 gigs, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise. And that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one. Or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
Okay. I want to mention our sponsor, which is Casper. We said at the top of the show that I would tell you how you can get $50 towards your mattress if you go to caspertrial.com/insomnia. Just go and check it out to see the other products that they have as well.
Like, for example, speaking of Xena, for all you dog lovers out there, they actually have dog beds too, which I find fascinating.
For different sizes, and so there's 2 sizes, and for certain breeds of dogs, Nidhi, the mattress is designed to support their neck. And yeah, you should really check it out as well. Like there's sheets and pillows and whatnot. Yeah, go to caspertrial.com/insomnia and you'll see what we're talking about. And if you want to save $50,
use the product code, which is 50 sleep.
You got it.
Yay.
That's 50 sleep. I always say 50 sleep because sometimes it sounds like you're saying, or I'm saying 15 sleep.
Oh,
But no,
I see.
Because with numbers like that, 50 and 15 or 16 and 60, I always try to spell it out as you would. You got a 100-night trial and a 10-year warranty on the mattresses. So Nidhi, there you go. So check it out. What about you, Nidhi? Okay, I enjoy fishing. Is there some sort of relaxing sport or some sort of activity where you can just sort of chill and allow it to happen?
So I've been, Marco, as you know, from when Jen was on the show.
Yes.
I was training for a 10K, which I ran with her.
Amazing.
And ever since then, I've actually been really enjoying running.
Okay.
In a weird way. I never thought I'd be a runner.
See, that's something that I have no interest in.
Right. I actually bought running gear for the first time.
Wow.
Which was pretty
What
miraculous for
What
me.
did you buy?
I bought what's it called? Not a pullover, but like a long sleeve running shirt.
Jacket? Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that in colder weather that I could run and still be warm and comfortable,
Sure.
but not too warm, because
Right.
that's the trick, right? And you can't really run in cotton. And up until now, I'd been an amateur runner who just runs in cotton.
Oh, you're not
sweatpants and
supposed
stuff.
to run in cotton?
It's heavy, right?
Oh.
So it impacts your time and things like
Wow.
that, and it impacts the resistance, and it's also, it gets hot
Wow.
with cotton because it's a very heavy fabric. So,
So
you want
what
something-
is the fabric of choice? Like
So-
those wick-away fabrics?
Yeah,
Okay.
like anything that's going to kind of roll the sweat off in
Okay,
a way, or
okay.
and so it's usually leggings that I wear,
Oh, I see,
and
okay.
something that's tighter to the body, right?
Sure.
And then of course yoga, like hot yoga is my big thing
That's right.
that I'm back into.
Oh,
which
I
is
want to
really
get back
nice.
into it. I
know.
really want to get back into it. Have you found a studio you like?
Yeah.
Okay, after the podcast, you'll tell me what
Yeah,
it is, because
yeah,
our
yeah,
listeners who aren't in Toronto won't
really,
run.
yeah.
But I love hot yoga. And
I
if you
know.
haven't had... Okay, so Nidhi...
Should we tell people how we met and that's why, or do they know this already?
Oh, we may have mentioned it on a previous show, but let me just say this before we... No, you know what? Please go ahead, because what I have to say is
No,
kind
say
of
what
silly.
you're
No,
gonna
you go, because I think it'll lead in really well.
Oh, I was going to say that Marco and I met because Amanda, his wife, is a yoga teacher and was working for a hot yoga studio that I was going to. I was frequenting quite often.
I love that word.
Frequenting?
I love it. I love it.
And I was frequenting it around a time when I was going through a bit of a professional crisis. I was about to lose my job because I was getting laid off. The company
Ouch.
was closing down.
Okay.
And Amanda was very kind. And so I'd show up to her 6 o'clock in the morning class because I was a little bit out of it. And I don't know why I was waking up early enough to be at a 6 o'clock in the morning class, but I was. All that to say that Amanda and I were talking one day after class, and at this particular time, the company I was working for was in the news because there was all sorts of scandals with the CEO, and so every day there was a news article coming out, and Amanda had been listening to these articles, so when she asked me where I work,
Wow.
I told her, and she was like, "Oh, you mean the place that's on CBC News all the time?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And so she... this particular studio had what's called like a trade program, so
Right.
you can volunteer your time for a certain number of hours per week, and as a result you get free yoga. And so she recommended that I join that program so that I can continue practicing even after I lost my job, and that experience completely saved me, I think.
So yoga helped you.
Oh my gosh, I think it's what got me through that particular time. But through that, I also remember, so Amanda and I became Facebook friends, and one day in her status update, she said, if anyone's interested in stage managing a show for the Fringe, PM me. And so I was like, oh, I could do that because I have time on my hands.
Sure.
And I used to stage manage in my previous life. And so I did do that. And so I stage managed a show called The Release the Stars, which was a hit at the Fringe Festival.
Yes.
And through that, I met Marco.
There you go.
And so the rest is all history.
You know, it's interesting that, you know, when you first meet someone and you start to get to know them, it's really like, you know, the beginning of any relationship, and you're kind of like learning new fascinating things. But then once you become good friends with someone, you forget about those sort of early days, right? And it's like, yeah, we've been friends for years now, and it's pretty awesome. For me, hot yoga, I went to it because my wife taught it, and I was like, oh, I better go to this thing. I'm probably going to hate it. And
Were you dating at that time, or were you together?
no, we were
married?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I hope we were married, because Amanda's gonna. If we're not, if we weren't, I'm in big trouble. But I'm pretty sure we were married. Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I don't think we were married.
I don't think you were married
think we
either.
were married.
Because how long have you been married?
7 years.
No, I don't think you were married.
Man. This episode's gonna get me in trouble.
When she trained as a yoga teacher?
Regardless.
Okay,
all right?
whatever.
Let's just skip this part, because otherwise I'm in big trouble. And so I'm like, I've got to go to the classes because my wife's a teacher. So she wanted me to go and watch her first classes and tell her what I thought.
Sure.
And I was like, listen, I don't think hot yoga is for me,
Right.
because it's going to be too hot, and I'm already a person who sweats a lot and is hot, and I don't like the summer because it's too hot for me. And she said, well, hot yoga is not what you think. And of course, having never gone, I knew exactly what it was, or so I thought. And then I went to it, and Nidhi, I have never sweat so much in my life as I did in a hot yoga class. But what was interesting, I found, was that I was sweating from everywhere at the same time. So, like, I felt like beads of sweat all over me, right? And the one thing that Amanda told me that really helped me, especially for my first classes, so if our listeners are ever thinking, oh, you know what, I might take a hot yoga class, or like I was, it's not for me. What Amanda said to me was like, at any point, if you find that it's too much, the heat's too much,
Just lie
the
down
poses,
in Savasana.
and she's like, just lie down and don't worry about anyone, because that's a yoga pose, and it's the pose that your body needs. And don't worry that we're on different poses. So sure enough, Nidhi, it got a bit intense the first or the second class I went to. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lie here and whatever, let people judge me. And I have to say, in all the yoga classes I've gone to, I've never felt judged by the people I'm in with. You sort of are judging yourself. So I was like, my body wants me to lie. And I would go in Shavasana. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. And, one time, Nidhi, I fell asleep in Shavasana and woke up as they're like, all right, let's get into our last pose. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I got into the last pose, and I felt a little bit silly, because I was like, oh man. But it was what my body needed.
Well, and that's the thing. I know there's some classes where halfway through I've had to lie in Savasana, and I've had the deepest meditation because of it. Because you're kind of you're asleep and you're kind of not asleep, right? Because you're kind of still a little bit aware.
Sure.
But there's something about that heat that really, really, I don't know, relaxes you.
So both me and Nidhi, or Nidhi and I, recommend hot yoga classes. Of course, consult with a doctor if you have any concerns before you take a class. And I know that it's been very helpful for a lot of people. I took a restorative class a couple times, Nidhi, and I loved it.
Yeah, restorative is great.
So great.
I should take one again.
Yeah. Now, do you have yoga attire and a yoga mat, and is there a certain section of the yoga class you'd like to stay in?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. It's got to be close to the mirrors. And I have my yoga gear, and I have a mat. And I have to have obviously my water bottle. But yeah, no, there's like a process attached to it, which is interesting.
And what about your clothes? Like, do you have specific yoga clothes, or any old thing will do? Because you're talking about cotton and how it's not great for running.
You can't use it for yoga, hot yoga.
No.
No, it has to be like yoga gear. It has to be like stretchy and something that's going to allow the sweat to kind of roll off rather than stick with you.
Fair. Have you ever... Sorry.
No.
Have you ever done a meditation class?
I've meditated before, but I haven't meditated with like a group of people in a particular class.
Okay.
How about you?
No, I've done like online classes and stuff like that.
Oh, remember when we did the Oprah one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There's a new one that I'm doing right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's like 5 days in, but yeah. That's what I mean by...
The only problem with that one I find is that Deepak Chopra's voice kind of annoys me.
No, see, it doesn't
Really?
bother. It used to.
It really bothers me. His voice bothers me.
Well, fair enough. Hey, listen, there might be listeners who think Marco's voice really bothers me.
Or my voice really bothers
Well,
them.
if you are, I apologize that my voice isn't your thing, but I hope you enjoyed the episode nonetheless. Yeah, no, I would like to take a class. Here's a question I have for you.
Sure.
Because your background is Indian. Do a lot of Indians meditate in the way that someone who's like myself, not as familiar with the Indian culture as I'd like to be? There's this perception, that a lot of Indians do yoga and they meditate. Is that true? Or is it a Western sort of bias of a art form or a form of physical activity that was born from India? I don't even know if I made sense
yes
there.
and no.
Okay.
Like I feel like I can't speak too much or too broadly on that.
Okay.
But it is definitely part of like the society. However, I do think in the West there's a certain amount of cultural appropriation that takes place with that particular form. Like the yoga studio I go to, everybody's white, so it's like, wait a second.
Right.
So I find it a little bit amusing or bemusing sometimes when, I don't know, there's a bit of a glorification of this type of practice that doesn't take place in India in a way.
It's interesting you say that. So here's an observation that I can make from when I went to India. So at the end of a lot of yoga classes, the teacher will say namaste.
Yeah.
And they'll say it in this like really like ceremonial thing where it's like, and now I get to salute the thing in me, salutes the thing in you. And like they go into this whole diatribe of namaste, right? And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, that's cool, that's your thing. I guess it's a little ending ceremonial thing. When I was in India, sorry, I got all garbled together. People were saying namaste, like in Italy you would say ciao. It was just like namaste.
Because it just means hello or goodbye.
Yeah, and I was like, thank you. I'm like, and I loved it because it was like casual and friendly, and there was no weight. There was no like heavy weight to it. You know what I mean? But it was really lovely, and I was like, this is how you should. For me, this is how you should be saying.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool, and I was like, all right, Indians know what they're doing. Everybody else, chill. All right. That was
on the note of namaste, we I think have come to the end of this episode. And what a fun one it was, indeed. I can't even remember what we started talking about.
Oh, fishing.
Fishing, thank
running.
you. There we go. From fishing to namaste, and everything else in between. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us online at Listen and Sleep, and be sure to check out Casper Mattresses, our sponsor. As always, now I'm garbling my words. As always, we are recording from Toronto, Ontario, and we are produced by Drumcast Productions.